Hi folks, this is Shelley here from Taming Frenzy, and I wanted to pop in today and talk to you a little bit about why it is helpful to keep a pantry inventory sheet. There are three primary benefits to a pantry inventory sheet. The first one is that it helps you to know what you have on hand in your cupboards, in your pantry closet, or in your stockpile. That helps you to be able to plan the menu so that when you sit down to plan out your meal for the evening or your meals for the weeks, you know exactly what you have on hand. And once you have a pantry inventory, the second benefit is then you know what you need when you go to the grocery store. And most importantly, third, you know what you don't need when you go to the grocery store. That keeps you from going to the grocery store, picking up items, putting them in your cart, paying out your good money for them, only to get home and find, oh, I already had a bunch of those and I really didn't need them. So we don't want to waste any money purchasing things perhaps that we do not need right now. Meanwhile, we forgot something that was important that we did need. Now, to do a pantry inventory, I happen to use a sheet that I have made and created, and I have one of these available off over on the Taming Frenzy store for a couple of bucks. But you can make one of these at home yourself. You can keep one in a spiral notebook. You can just take out a piece of paper, and all a pantry inventory is an itemized list of the quantities of different items that you keep in your pantry, because they are the basis of all of the foods and the meals that your family eats. On ours, I have put down all of the different bulk goods that we use: rices, beans, pastas, all of those. You know, you want to count your baking supplies: flour, sugar, yeast, cornmeal, any of those things that you use. We also have down, we keep account of our canned goods, vegetables, fruits, meats, those types of items, in addition to spices and condiments, you know, mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, those kind of things. Those are the basic ingredients that we use to make all of the meals that we cook at our house. Now, when you're getting ready to do a pantry inventory, a couple of quick things to remember. One, allot yourself some time. It can take a little bit of time, more than 5 or 10 minutes, to do an adequate count of everything that you have. Second of all, I strongly encourage you, use a pencil, okay? Because for this to be helpful, you want to be able to change the quantities as you use things up, as you're preparing meals, and as you're purchasing new items and bringing them in. So using this and filling it out in pencil makes this a living document that you can change through time. Now, depending on where you keep all of your ingredients, you may have just a single cupboard by your stove that you use. You may have items in a cupboard and in a walk-in pantry, or another set of another place that you keep ingredients. You might even have some kind of a closet somewhere, or a set of shelves in the garage where you keep items. But what you will want to do is to go through and count all of the specific items, record them on your pantry inventory, and add them up. And you may need to, even on the back, I tend to take notes if there's some other place that items are stored. For example, paper goods or big bulk items you might have stored in another area of your home. This way you can put your notes on the back and you know where to go retrieve those item from. But give yourself some time so that you can get an adequate count of all of those things that you have in your house. Then the other thing that is very helpful to do is keep this where you can find it and access it. Let's face it, it doesn't do any good to have a pantry inventory if you can't find it than to know what you have on hand. You can either hang this on your refrigerator. I have seen people that have it magnetized or taped to the inside of a cupboard door. It can also be placed in a recipe binder or notebook if you use that to plan your menus out. But that way, when you're planning out what you're cooking for your meals, what you're going to have, you've got this on hand so you can easily see what you have, and also then make a list of what you need to purchase at the grocery store. So having this and using it is a key to making it effective for you. This is also an excellent way for you to help build your stockpile of ingredients. And when you're building a stockpile, number one key, purchase things at their absolute cheapest price. This allows you to know what you've got, so that when you see a really good sale on something that's a staple for you, that you can stock up, and you want to do that when it's as cheap as possible. After all, we all want to save money. We want to make the most of the ingredients that we have on hand so that we can get dinner on the table for our families and to not be dreading that question that people come through and ask us, which is, Mom, what's for dinner? So anyway, I hope this is something that's helpful. Like I said, I'll leave the link to this in my store down below so you can go look. Or again, this is something that you can easily make on your own or in a spiral notebook and let it be a living document that works for you to help you tame a little bit of your frenzy. In the meantime, have a great week. Tame a little of your frenzy.